Chapter 5, Bifurcation Points. How trends are born and die. Trends do not begin when price moves. They begin when the underlying structure of the market changes. This moment, the instant when the system shifts from one state to another, is called a bifurcation point. In physics, biology, and chaos theory, bifurcations mark the birth of new behavior. In markets, they mark the birth or death of trends. To understand trends, you must understand bifurcation. Because a trend is not a direction, it is a state of organization. What is a bifurcation? In plain terms, imagine a river splitting into two. The flow was unified, then suddenly two paths exist. Price behaves the same way. A bifurcation is the point where structure breaks. A new pattern emerges. Probability distribution shifts. Market behavior reorganizes itself. Before a bifurcation, the market behaves one way. After it, the market behaves another way. This is not a signal. It is a reconfiguration of the system. Markets do not change gradually, they jump. In continuous systems, change is often sudden. A slight adjustment leads to a disproportionate outcome, a hallmark of chaotic systems. Examples. One large order breaks equilibrium. A volatility cluster compresses until it snaps. Liquidity evaporates instantly. A small imbalance grows exponentially. The market behaves less like a calm road and more like a branch breaking under tension. Nothing seems different until everything is different. A bifurcation is that break. Two types of bifurcation in markets. 1. Structural bifurcation, the birth of a trend, occurs when a consolidation compresses to maximum density. Liquidity is pulled from one side. Microfractals synchronize direction. Volume distribution shifts decisively. Structure moves from randomness to alignment. This is the birth of a trend. Think of metal filings suddenly aligning when exposed to a magnetic field. That's what the market does when order enters a previously chaotic zone. 2. Energetic bifurcation, the death of a trend, occurs when momentum weakens. Volume cannot sustain direction. Fractals lose symmetry. Price no longer respects structural boundaries. The trend doesn't reverse. It dies, and the system searches for a new state. This is closer to biological death than mechanical reversal. A living structure loses coherence and collapses. Why bifurcation happens? Tension and release. Markets store tension the way physical systems do. Coiling volatility. Tightening ranges. Increasing compression. Heavy clustering of orders. Lopsided volume profiles. This is potential energy. A bifurcation is the release of that tension into active energy, a new directional phase. In physics, this is a phase transition. Ice becomes water not gradually, but suddenly. Price does the same. How to recognize bifurcation in real time. The analyst should not seek a breakout, but the conditions that precede one. 1. Decreasing volatility plus increasing volume density. The market compresses before it expands. 2. Asymmetry in microstructure. Small waves begin to tilt in one direction. 3. Loss of symmetry in order flow. Bid and ask no longer mirror each other. 4. Time deformation. Price moves faster in one direction than the other, a sign of shifting probability. 5. Failure of the system to return to equilibrium. Pullbacks shrink or vanish. These clues appear before price makes its obvious move. Bifurcation is visible in the behavior long before it shows up in the candle. Bifurcation as the true definition of trend. A trend is not higher highs, lower lows, or moving averages crossing. These are symptoms. A trend is a state where the system has passed through a bifurcation and reorganized itself into directional coherence. When many scales of movement begin to align, from microfractals to macro structure, the system is no longer chaotic. It becomes temporarily predictable, because it has found a path of least resistance. This is not magic, it is physics. Systems prefer stability until instability forces them to adopt a new stable state. Why most traders misread bifurcation. Traders confuse breakouts with bifurcation, but they are not the same. A breakout is an event. Bifurcation is a transformation. Breakouts can be manufactured by liquidity tricks. Bifurcation cannot. It is the natural evolution of the system. A breakout without bifurcation fails. A breakout backed by bifurcation becomes a trend. Understanding this difference is the analyst's biggest edge.